Many people ask how they can know whether the Holy Spirit is truly active in their life. This is an important question, especially for those who want to grow in wisdom, purpose, and faith. Spiritual growth is not about dramatic moments or mysterious signals. It is about steady transformation that shapes how you think, choose, and treat others. When God is working in your life, the evidence often appears in practical and educational ways that help you mature as a person. The first sign is a growing sense of inner peace, even during uncertainty. This does not mean life becomes easy or free of problems. Instead, you begin to respond with calm rather than panic. You learn to pause, think, and trust rather than rush into fear-driven decisions. This kind of peace supports better learning, better relationships, and healthier emotional development. The second sign is a stronger awareness of right and wrong. When the Holy Spirit is working, your conscience becomes clearer. You start noticing when something is not aligned with honesty, kindness, or integrity. This awareness is not meant to shame you, but to guide you toward better choices. Over time, this leads to responsible behavior and stronger moral reasoning. The third sign is a desire for personal growth rather than perfection. You begin to value learning, correction, and self-improvement. Instead of pretending to have all the answers, you become open to feedback and reflection. This mindset helps you grow academically, socially, and spiritually because you understand that progress comes step by step. The fourth sign is patience with timing. Many people struggle with waiting, especially when it comes to important life decisions. When God is guiding you, you learn that rushing often leads to confusion, while patience leads to clarity. You become more thoughtful, more observant, and more willing to wait until understanding develops fully. The fifth sign is compassion without pressure. You start caring about others in a balanced way. This means respecting boundaries, listening carefully, and avoiding control or manipulation. True spiritual influence never forces outcomes. It teaches you to act with kindness while allowing others the freedom to choose their own path. The sixth sign is alignment between values and actions. What you believe slowly begins to match how you live. This consistency builds credibility and self-respect. You become someone who can be trusted because your words and actions reflect the same principles. This is a powerful sign of inner transformation. The seventh sign is clarity about meaningful connections in your life. Instead of confusion or emotional chaos, you experience thoughtful understanding about who supports your growth and purpose. This clarity comes with peace, not obsession or fear. It encourages wise decisions that honor both faith and responsibility, understanding the role of the Holy Spirit as a guide for character. Growth and wise decision-making is essential for anyone who wants to live with purpose and clarity. When people talk about spiritual influence, they often expect dramatic signs or emotional experiences, but true spiritual growth usually appears in quiet, steady ways that shape how a person thinks, learns, and chooses. The Holy Spirit works through understanding, reflection, and moral development, helping a person grow into a wiser and more responsible version of themselves. This guidance is not about control or pressure, but about learning how to make decisions that align with truth, patience, and integrity. When God is working in your life, the process respects your ability to think, learn, and mature rather than bypassing it. One of the clearest ways this guidance shows itself is through improved decision-making. You begin to pause before reacting, considering consequences instead of acting on impulse. This pause is educational because it trains the mind to evaluate situations logically and ethically. Over time, you start recognizing patterns in your choices and learning from both success and failure. This growth does not happen overnight, but it becomes noticeable as you develop better judgment in relationships, responsibilities, and goals. You start asking not just what feels good now, but what is wise, healthy, and constructive in the long term. Another important aspect of spiritual guidance is the development of emotional balance. Life brings stress, disappointment, and uncertainty. But when the Holy Spirit is at work, emotions no longer control decisions. Instead, emotions become information rather than commands. You learn to acknowledge how you feel without letting those feelings dictate harmful actions. This emotional maturity is vital for learning environments, family life, and future leadership because it allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. Calm reflection replaces unnecessary conflict, and understanding replaces confusion. Character growth is also a key area where spiritual guidance becomes visible. Values such as honesty, humility, patience, and respect begin to take root more deeply. These values are not enforced through fear, but through understanding why they matter. You begin to see how truth builds trust, how patience prevents regret, and how humility opens the door to learning. This kind of character formation supports academic growth and personal development because it creates a stable foundation for lifelong learning and cooperation with others. Wise decision-making also involves discernment, the ability to tell the difference between guidance and impulse. Not every strong feeling is a sign, and not every opportunity is meant to be taken. The Holy Spirit helps sharpen discernment by encouraging reflection, prayerful thinking, and seeking knowledge. You become less driven by urgency and more guided by clarity. This teaches an important lesson that wisdom often grows in silence and patience rather than eyes and haste. Another educational outcome of spiritual guidance is responsibility. You begin to understand that your choices affect not only you, but also others. This awareness encourages accountability and thoughtful behavior. Instead of blaming circumstances or people, you start taking ownership of your actions. Responsibility strengthens maturity and prepares you for future roles in society where reliability and ethical conduct matter deeply. As this guidance continues, your sense of purpose becomes clearer. Purpose does not always mean knowing every step of the future, but it does mean understanding the direction of your values. You start prioritizing what truly matters and letting go of distractions that do not contribute to growth. This clarity reduces anxiety because you are no longer trying to please everyone or chase every trend. Instead, you focus on becoming grounded, educated, and purposeful. Another sign of this guidance is the ability to form healthy connections. You begin to value relationships that encourage growth, respect boundaries, and promote mutual learning. This does not involve obsession, pressure, or unrealistic expectations. Instead, it brings peace and understanding. You learn that meaningful connections develop naturally when values align and communication is honest. This perspective protects emotional well-being and supports healthy social development. Over time, the Holy Spirit also nurtures patience with timing. Many people struggle with waiting, especially when they want quick answers. Spiritual guidance teaches that waiting can be productive. During waiting, understanding deepens, skills improve, and character strengthens. This lesson is crucial for education and life planning because it reminds you that preparation is just as important as opportunity. Ultimately, the role of the Holy Spirit in your life is to guide you toward wisdom, not confusion, growth, not fear, and clarity, not pressure. This guidance respects your mind, your learning process, and your responsibility to make thoughtful choices. As you continue developing, remember that true spiritual influence always supports education, maturity, and a balanced life built on understanding, patience, and purpose. Learning how inner transformation shows through consistent actions rather than sudden emotions is one of the most important lessons in spiritual education. Many people believe that spiritual change must feel intense or dramatic, but real growth usually happens quietly through daily choices. When the Holy Spirit is working in a person's life, the change is not unstable or confusing. It is steady, thoughtful, and visible over time. This kind of transformation strengthens character, improves learning habits, and helps a person become more reliable and self-aware. Inner transformation begins with small decisions. You start choosing honesty, even when it is inconvenient, patience when frustration would be easier, and responsibility when avoidance seems tempting. These repeated choices slowly shape behavior, and behavior shapes character. This process is educational because it teaches cause and effect. You begin to understand that what you practice daily becomes who you are. Spiritual growth is not separate from personal development. It supports it by reinforcing positive habits and discouraging harmful patterns. Another important sign of inner transformation is consistency. Emotions naturally rise and fall, but values remain steady. When the Holy Spirit is guiding a person, actions are not controlled by mood swings. You show respect even when tired, discipline even when unmotivated, and kindness even when unrecognized. This consistency builds trust with others and confidence within yourself. It also helps in academic and personal environments where reliability matters more than temporary excitement. Inner change also affects how you respond to mistakes. Instead of becoming defensive or hopeless, you become reflective. You ask what can be learned rather than who can be blamed. This response shows maturity and a willingness to grow. The Holy Spirit encourages learning through correction, not shame. This mindset is essential for education because progress depends on recognizing weaknesses and improving them rather than hiding them. As transformation continues, self-control becomes stronger. Self-control is not about suppression, but about direction. You learn to manage impulses and delay gratification for long-term benefit. This skill is vital for success in studies, relationships, and future responsibilities. When spiritual guidance strengthens self-control, it supports healthier routines, better focus, and wiser use of time and energy. Another sign of inner transformation is clarity in priorities. You begin to understand what truly matters and what does not deserve your attention. Distractions lose their power because your values become clearer. This clarity reduces stress and confusion, allowing you to concentrate on meaningful goals. Educationally, this helps improve planning, decision-making, and long-term thinking. Inner transformation also reshapes how you treat others. You become more patient, more willing to listen, and less eager to judge. This does not mean agreeing with everything, but it does mean responding with respect. Healthy communication grows from this change. The Holy Spirit promotes understanding and peace, which improves cooperation and reduces unnecessary conflict in social and learning environments. Over time, humility becomes more noticeable. You recognize that growth is ongoing and that learning never truly ends. This humility opens the door to wisdom because it keeps you teachable. You become comfortable admitting when you do not know something and willing to seek guidance. This attitude is essential for education and leadership, as it prevents arrogance and encourages collaboration. Another important outcome of inner transformation is resilience. Challenges no longer define your identity or direction. Instead of giving up, you adapt and continue forward. This resilience is built through trust, patience, and consistent effort. Spirit-led resilience does not deny difficulty, but it refuses to be defeated by it. This lesson prepares you for real-world challenges where persistence matters more than talent alone. As inner change deepens, your actions begin to align naturally with your beliefs. There is less inner conflict because values and behavior support each other. This alignment brings peace and stability. You no longer feel pulled in different directions because your choices reflect your understanding. This harmony is a strong indicator of spiritual maturity and personal growth. Ultimately, inner transformation guided by the Holy Spirit is not about temporary feelings, but about lasting development. It shapes how you think, how you act, and how you grow over time. This process supports education, responsibility, and healthy relationships. When change is consistent, thoughtful, and value-driven, it becomes clear that true growth is taking place. This kind of transformation prepares you not only for spiritual maturity, but also for a balanced, purposeful, and meaningful life.